Hey, what's up guys? Alex here with a new video, and today we're going to be doing something completely different. So we're actually going to cull and edit a full engagement session. So I don't want to make this video too long. We're going to dive right in, and as I'm culling and editing, I'll talk about my settings and some of the things that happened during this engagement session. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here we are in Photo Mechanic. Now, I haven't imported these photos yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do my selects first, and then I'll import them into Lightroom. I like this workflow because it gives me the ability to only import the photos I want to edit or get started with editing. So let's go ahead and open up the first one. Now, I'll start off by saying this engagement session here was a 15-minute engagement session, so I didn't necessarily have too much time with this couple, and we can kind of discuss the details in another video, but here all I'm going to do is just go through the photos I like and just kind of select them. So all I'm doing is on the keyboard just pressing 5 on the photos I like, and you'll see here that I take a lot of pictures, so I'm just trying to get those moments there. So right here got in the way there, I like that. And the goal here with culling is kind of trusting my gut instinct. So if I like one going this fast, like I know it's a keeper. And this whole session too is also shot with the Canon 50mm RF 1.2. When I have a little bit of time with a couple, or I need to do a quick session, that is like my go-to setup. As you can see here, guys, nothing really crazy, just picking my favorites. I think the big thing is I love, especially for couples that haven't ever taken photos before, I like just getting them to move. Movement just creates natural, flattering poses, I should say, flattering angles. On this walk here, I had them bump, and the bump itself isn't necessarily always the cutest, but it gets the reaction, so which is exactly what I'm going for. I think I have them bump one more time. You see, for example, like this bump here, like I'm not gonna use that, right? But the smiles right here are the ones that are just perfect. This is one of my favorite poses, actually. I love having the groom come up from behind, and again, it just creates that natural smile. See, so this one, I'm gonna go ahead and select. And I always tell the guy to go a little bit harder, get it to go a little bit forward. He was still going a little too soft, but we got the shot we wanted. And actually, yeah, I'm not gonna pick that one. So throughout the entire session, guys, I just literally have the camera in continuous AF, face detect, eye detect, and I'm never really picking the focusing point. As you can see here, like all these photos, the ones I'm not keeping aren't because they're not in focus, they're just because, I mean, I don't like them. But, I mean, all these as far as like sharpness and the camera getting it right, it is spot on. Like, ever since I switched to the EOS R, like the keeper rate is just insane. I mean, I'm just picking the ones I like. I don't have to worry about, is it in focus or did the camera nail it? Now this is the shot I always struggle with, but there we go. Nailed it. These are just gorgeous. And this, I think we wrapped it up after this one right here. Had her cover the watch. And that's it. So now that I have my selects on Photo Mechanic, what I'm going to go ahead and do here is go here and organize them by tag and color class. And as you can see here, let's see, it's going to be 168 photos, but we're gonna drill those down. So we're gonna get these and import them into Lightroom. Now the key to edit quickly in Lightroom and to have optimal performance is in the build previews here on the right hand side. We want to go ahead and do one by one previews. One by one, one and one, whatever, previews. And we're also going to do build smart previews because we're going to edit using smart previews. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and click import. Now this process itself, depending on the computer you have, can take some time. So back when I had my iMac, it would fly through in a few minutes. With the MacBook Pro, I had the 16-inch highest spec. It does take a little longer than the iMac, but it does the job. Okay, now that I have all my files imported into Lightroom and my smart previews kind of built out, let's go ahead and edit these photos. Now, what's really cool about sessions like this is the light didn't really change throughout the entire session, right? So once we get our settings right, or our kind of editing settings right, we're just gonna batch edit this whole session. So we'll see how simple it is. Let's go ahead and click on my preset. And always, like the white balance is kind of off. So I always like doing auto to see what Lightroom does. And in this case, Lightroom loves leaning towards the magenta colors, and just go ahead and tone them down. How warm do we want to make this photo? I think I kind of like it at. So for this photo, as you can see, I mean the before, the sun was really kind of creating a haze. So we're gonna go ahead and just dehaze it a bit here. Let's go ahead and go 20, and then we can see it's still a little too magenta for my taste. I think I like that better. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that for now. Let's go ahead and, you know what, let's try this other photo real quick. Just apply the same settings previous. And I think it might be a little too cool. All right, let's go back to the first one. All right, so for photos like this, I like doing one or two things, right? So the radial filter is your best friend. So I like just kind of going in here and selecting them like so, and just really like reduce the feather. That way it's just kind of darkens everything around them, and maybe around just a little bit there. Let's see what that does. That kind of hits the spot just. We don't need too much on this one, so let's go ahead from here. I'm gonna select all these and just literally sync everything. And now what I do is, so for example, these two aren't much different, so I prefer the second one because I'm not cutting off their feet. So on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and just 5-star it, which is the keeper. And then these aren't too different, so let's go ahead and see here. Again, I like this one better, so 5-star it. Let's make sure that the radial filter is right on, perfect. And even though I like this one, and actually I don't like it too much, let's go ahead and go to the next one. So I know I have a variety of these, but actually let's go ahead and just pick that one for now. I always make sure that the radial filter is smack in the middle, and the crop, and for this pose, I like the couple to be smack in the middle, so that works for me. So out of these two, I actually like this one better, 5-star it. Again, make sure everything is perfect. And keyboard shortcuts, the minute I learned them, they're your best friend. So I am just kind of flying through my settings. So again, these two, not too different. But you know what, I want to include both. I like the wider shot here, just make sure everything's good. Okay, so on this one, what's really interesting is the trees in the background, and you can see here, are orange, right? So it kind of creates this cool effect down below, but it also makes them a little too orange up here, too magenta. So on this one, we're gonna have to fix the white balance. Let's go ahead and, I think right about there, make it a little cooler. Let's brighten it up a bit. Again, one thing you'll see in my photos, I like having my composition kind of smack in the middle, and the radial filter is good there. So we'll sync these entire settings here. This one's a keeper. So this one, and I like the first one better. I like that one. I like that one. Actually, this one might look good in black and white. Let's see what that looks like. Just dehaze it a bit. I'll rock that. I almost forgot. And all right, cool. So we're back to this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this similar shot, and I'm going to go ahead and just copy all the settings except for the crop, and go to this one. Let's go ahead and apply them. And now that the sun isn't behind them as much, you can see we get a lot more contrast. So I'm going to just reduce the dehaze by a little bit, and actually, I'm going to keep the dehaze up around 15 and everything else looking solid. So now I'm going to go ahead and just apply these settings across the board. And we might have to adjust a little, but the whole thing is kind of knocking out this session, right? So this one's a keeper. And sometimes pictures like this will slip through my culling process. I go so fast, but it's okay. So let's go ahead and keep going. I actually like this one. Let's go ahead and fix that. And this one, the dehaze is definitely a little too strong. Let's lower it down a bit. You know what? I kind of like this one. So Steve previous. Too much grass here. Let's make sure everything looks good. So, guys, sorry this video is a little boring. A lot of people have asked how I edit, and as you can see, it's nothing really crazy. Most of the settings here, or most of the colors and everything, is kind of done from the start, right? So, like if you look at before and after, it's not really too crazy. Obviously the colors changed right with my preset, but I mean, other than that, everything is looking solid. And one thing, I know a lot of you guys have asked if I will ever sell my preset. My preset that I've kind of made over the years, and if you look here on the side, you can see all the versions I've gone through. This one I've kind of landed on. It's a mixture of a lot of things, right? But one key thing that I use is Canon's camera profiles. So people talk about Canon color science a lot, right? Like, what does that mean? And that's a lot of things, right? But using their camera profiles, I found that I get the best colors. So if I ever sold my presets, it would be kind of only for Canon, which would, I mean, eliminate a lot of other people, but let me know your thoughts below. Would that be something you're interested in? Because we could definitely make it happen. And I don't know if you can hear it, but my laptop's fans are going wild right now. It's something I'm not used to coming from an iMac. So I thought I liked this one. Once I brighten it up, I don't like the way his mouth looks, so I like this one because it's a little bit more playful and a little bit more flattering for the both of them. So let's pick that one. I definitely like that one. And some of these might be repetitive, but I like this one too. Actually, and guys, there are times where I just over deliver photos. In this case, I don't think I'm over delivering, but some of these look very similar. I like the expressions I'm seeing, so I'm including this one too. Why not? And this one. Okay, so for these, we definitely do not need the dehaze, so turning that off. Let's go ahead and... As you can see, I really haven't changed my radio filter in all of these. It's very lightly applied here, just burning the, kind of giving a more natural looking vignette. To apply it to all the photos. And because here we're in the shade, I'm gonna just warm it up just a bit, and I think right there for the white balance is good. And the lighting shouldn't change at all for the rest of these photos. So again, just batch sync. Oh, the colors are great here. Now, I'm usually not a fan of looking at the camera like this, but mom and dad will definitely love this one. So you gotta include one like this. That looks good. It's the exact same photo, so just do previous. Oh, I forgot to pick it. Should like that one too. They actually look the same. Oh, they're different. And I want to make it clear as well, I am not going fast just to go fast for this video. This is how fast I usually edit. And it's really kind of, I mean, I think when I first got started, I would spend hours on hours just tweaking and messing around with colors and everything. Once I found kind of a look that I liked, and shooting manual has been, I mean, super key. When I first started, I would shoot aperture priority, which is a great mode to get started in. But when editing photos like this, because aperture priority mode is kind of doing its own thing, the settings would always be wildly different. So batch editing would not be as easy. I would always have to fiddle with the exposure or so on and so what. But by just shooting manual, I mean, the lighting here didn't change, which means I can literally just fly through these edits. Without too much tweaking. And for these ring shots, I think key is, oh man, it's just not. What is going on? There we go. Key's making sure the ring is sharp. And this one does have a little bit of chromatic aberration there, so let's go ahead, just go in here. And let's clear that up. Boom, that does it. That's a perfect ring shot. All right, include 2 of those. The colors are just so good on these right here. But once I make changes, again, batch edit. I like the composition here a lot better than this one. Guys, and that is it. So from here, let's see what the total count is here. So 15-minute session, 39 photos, and let's see, in my line about 15 minutes, we started taking photos at 4:02 p.m. and we finished at 4:18. So 16-minute session, give or take, from start to finish, 39 photos, and I just culled and edited the entire session. So if this video shows anything, hopefully the message I can get across is batch editing is your friend. Shooting manual helps, right? And finding a look that you like also helps a tremendous amount. For me, with my preset, I don't really tweak it too much. I'm really happy with the colors and look that I get. And as you can see, shooting manual, batch editing, and finding kind of that predetermined look that you want just makes things so much easier. So hopefully I didn't bore you to death. Hopefully I taught you something. And if you have any questions, drop it in the comments below. I would love to help out in any shape, way, or form. Or if you have, even if you have any questions on why I did certain things, right, or different parts of the process from booking engagement sessions or weddings and whatever that looks like, let me know in the comments below. I would love to make more content like this. So as always, guys, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.